Eric Sachs, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. So, hey, I'm so glad you could join us today, the Next Level Agents podcast. And man, Eric, you're someone who I've gotten to know a little bit over the course of this year, 2018, and just our paths crossed. I'm still not even sure how they crossed, but they crossed. I was really glad that they
Right.
did. I think I read Oh, I know. We had a bunch of people joining our Facebook group,
hmm
and they kept saying like, "Hey, I heard about it on Breakthrough Broker." And I was like, okay. So I go Google Next Level Agents and
hmm
plus Breakthrough Broker, and I come to like a blog post. And so I reached out. That's what it was. I reached out,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, man, dude, I'm a fan of the group. I'm in the group, and I don't know how our paths hadn't crossed, and we ended
Yeah.
up spending like what in 2 hours or so together at the airport one
Yeah. I
time.
met you at the airport and it was awesome.
Yeah,
I
that was
mentioned, I love the group. So I mentioned the group in one of the webinars for Breakthrough Broker. So I think that's where it got rocking and rolling.
That's what it was, man. Yeah. So Cody and I and Fred super appreciate that. So, anyways, that got you and I talking, and we get to spend some time together there at the airport in Phoenix, and then have chatted quite a few times since. And dude, one of the things I just love, and I'm just gonna hop into it, is like I love your story and how Breakthrough Broker got started. So what I want to do is I want to hop around a little bit.
I'm good.
Give me the elevator pitch. Tell me what is Breakthrough Broker, and then I want to go back and you know where I want to go. I want to go back to how did we get to today with Breakthrough
Right.
Broker.
It's been an interesting journey. We wanted to create the WebMD for the real estate industry. We were disenfranchised with everything that was out there. It was so expensive. It wasn't great. It was being built by people who had never sold a home before. So Breakthrough Broker was designed to be the largest free resource for realtors in the world.
I love that. The largest free resource for realtors in the world. That's awesome. So I know you got a heart for helping realtors, you and your business partner, and for specifically helping realtors implement things and get things going in their business so they can have a better business and a better life, better quality of life.
Right.
And so why don't you, if you don't mind, walk me backwards in time. And so I know the story, like I know that you owned a brokerage at one point, but so talk to me about that. Like, how did you get into real estate? And I would, if you don't mind sharing, I'd love if you told everybody what you did before real
I
estate.
will. I'll tell the backstory. So it's interesting. I've had the entrepreneurial spirit for a long time. I worked right out of college. I worked as a police officer. So I worked for Fort Collins Police Department for 13 years. And halfway through that journey as a police officer, I was a detective for 7 years. And I loved teaching. So I left the detective bureau to go back to the street to train rookies on the street. So you're training rookie cops all night long on night shift. And it was kind of funny how it happened. I had not a great experience with my first time home buying experience. I was in they send rookie cops to burglar alarms all night long. So if anyone's listening to the podcast and you're a realtor ex-cop, you'll shake your head. Yeah. So we're in burglar alarms all night long and there's never a burglar. So in Colorado, in Fort Collins, if you own $1 million home, you leave a back door open when you go on vacation. It's like a prerequisite to go on vacation. Wind blows, door rattles, we go in, no bad guy. And my rookies thought I was crazy because I was in the kitchen checking out the granite and the backsplash. And I was like, this is a sick house. And I'm thinking I can do this real estate thing. And it always looks more simple than it is, right? From the outside looking in.
Absolutely.
And so I did it. I got my real estate license as a total hobby. My best friend was at KW at the time up there. And he was kind of struggling. I got my real estate license and was kind of struggling, but it was just a hobby. And then all of a sudden, all the cops started using me, all the firefighters started using me, all the ER docs that I was eating dinner with every night as a cop started using me. And it was pretty quick that I was able to catch up or even surpass my police salary. So at that point, I talked my best friend away from KW, and we opened our own company up there, an independent with just the two of us. And when we sold our first home, we hired our first agent and rented an office. When we sold our second home together, we got her a desk and a computer, and we grew that company over a couple years to be a pretty decent sized company in the area. And we were acquired in 2010. And the big national franchise that acquired us wanted us to manage a lot of real estate agents in a lot of states. And we said, no, thank you. And we're sitting around the next day like, what are we going to do? And we were Nathan was listening to Pandora Radio. And as an ex-cop and hockey player, everything hurts on me. So I was on WebMD looking something up, and we were drinking beers, and the light bulb went off. Free resources for real estate agents. We had just got back from NAR, and there's 800 booths at NAR, and maybe 10 of them are good. No offense to any of the vendors listening to the call, but we were just really disenfranchised of what was out there. And so we wanted to build something that was by realtors, for realtors, with the understanding that everything was just really expensive. So we built it to be free. We had no idea how we'd make money off of it. And we have, obviously, with advertising, but that's our journey. We have 301,000 real estate agents using Breakthrough Broker right now. And our goal is to have all 1.2 million with a profile, and know that they can leverage it as a supplement, whether they're at a big company or a little company, or they have purchased great technology. We really want to be that household name in the real estate industry. If you can't find it, you can bet that we have it. We have just over 2,000 pieces of actionable content on the website.
2,000 pieces of actionable content. That is huge, man. That's a lot of content. So, okay, tell me, like, Eric, you don't get to 300,000 users. I don't care. 301,000. Yeah, you don't even get to a much lower number than that. And you don't get to 2,000 pieces of actionable content overnight. And so, I mean, was this just an easy ride for you? Was this just as easy as building the brokerage was? And I say easy, like, I know it wasn't easy building that brokerage. I say that tongue in cheek, but like, what was this like in your journey of going from idea from, hey, what the heck are we going to do now? We just sold our brokerage. It's been our baby. And so we've got a little bit of money now with this. And what are we going to do? And to today, 301,000 users. That's huge, dude.
It's been a lot of hard lessons. Everyone talks about failing forward, and I couldn't agree more with that statement. I mean, every month we've had a failure. Still, we find something that we're not doing right, but we're always learning from. We're not afraid to try. And I have a great business partner. I'm not saying everyone that's listening to this needs a partner, but there's so much involved in running and implementing a successful business. And my mindset is not logical, not very organized, like a typical good realtor, maybe.
Yeah.
And my business partner, Nathan, is super logical, very organized. He'll pull the reins back. He gets stuff done. So I think finding a balance, whether it's yourself or I had a business partner that we were able to implement a lot of ideas, because I'm the idea guy and he's kind of the implementer, to be able to keep building the right content, keep trying things that worked and didn't work. And it's been a journey. I mean, not 301,000 realtors. We just started tracking profiles since 2015, but we've been doing this since 2012. So it's been a really long journey, but since 2015, we've added those 301,000 users. And I think it's just good content. It's just about providing things that are helpful, easy. Like if you're doing content or talking, if you're listening to this and you want to do a blog or you want to write articles, make sure it's easy.
Yeah.
Like make sure you're explaining everything super easy. When you're talking to your clients, just dummy it down.
So, it's funny you say that. Like not just one, I've had a few mentors actually say to me before, if you can't explain something simply, then you don't understand it well enough.
Yeah.
And so whether that is in your case, providing solutions and technology and marketing and all sorts of training and support to real estate professionals, or it's a real estate professional helping their client walking through the buying process, selling process, et cetera. Mm-hmm. If you can't explain it in simple terms, and then there's a good chance you don't understand it yourself well enough to be able to do that. And that's a sign, right?
Absolutely. We have a motto here, we're pushing out a lot of content.
Yeah.
And we have a team and everyone, what's really cool now is we don't have to think it up, because there's a submission button on Breakthrough Broker. We're getting hundreds of submission forms a week. And so we're able to build what the industry needs right now. But easy. I have to remind the team, it has to be as easy as a Dr. Seuss book so that we can implement. We're as real estate professionals, we're so busy. We're so in a million directions. Nothing's being used in our industry unless it's unbelievably easy. And it has nothing to do with our tech savviness, the most tech savvy people won't use something unless it's super easy.
Yep.
So ease of use and clarity is really important to us.
So let me go backwards for a minute. You just said something that stuck out to me, which is there's a submission button, and you're getting a ton of submissions. So are these ideas that the users want to have implemented?
Yeah, awesome ideas too. Some aren't awesome, but like we didn't have when the market was just crushing it a couple months ago, and there was multiple offers all over the country. We had 10 or 15 agents submit that they would like a multiple offer worksheet so they could combine all of the data and information and not have to do it themselves. So we built one. We've been asked for a video branding tool so they could brand their videos in one click of a button. We built it. That launches next week. So it's really interesting that we're seeing what's needed, and we kind of aggregate it and we see what's being asked for a lot, and then we create it, implement it.
That's awesome, man. I think that's what a lot of the great, I don't know, I've never asked this question. I don't know if you consider yourself a tech company or not. I certainly would consider you a tech company because I've seen I know what goes into what you guys do, and that is high technology. And from what I've seen is a lot of the great tech companies do that. Like they can respond to their clients and their customers and their users as to what their experience is and where they would like it to go to, right? And so I love that you get out there. And the other thing I know about you, and not everybody does yet, at least not to this call and this podcast, but I'm sure many people do, is you get out on the road, man. You speak a lot, and you're in front. You're belly to belly with realtors all the time. In fact, I feel like 75-80% of the time I talk to you, you're on the road.
Yeah, I traveled a lot this year. I'm over 40 weeks this year.
Oh man,
I love it. And we work. Our advertising partners are mainly title, mortgage, and home warranty, and they're always looking for value for their realtors in every marketplace. And my passion is to get in front of that group and help them implement, give them a little, get that fire. Most of us that want to succeed in this business have that fire in their belly.
Totally.
But they can't act on it, right? One of the things that drives me crazy is the fact that 5% or 10% of the real estate agents in America are making 90% of the income and selling 90% of the homes. That kills me. With all due respect to you, because you're one of those 1%ers.
I'll totally accept.
Want more real estate agents making a living for themselves and creating wealth for themselves. And they have the majority of that middle ground wants to do it, but they're not getting there.
Yeah,
and they don't have the money to go spend $1,000 a month on Tom Ferry. They don't have that, and so I want to help fill that gap, and that's where our passion, Nathan, and my passion lies in helping that real estate agent, helping you guys like mega teams, but also helping that real estate agent who's doing 12 transactions a year, but it would change their life to do 20.
Yeah, you know what? You say that, Eric, but and I think this is probably the thing that brought us together. But literally just yesterday, my business partner, Fred, and I were talking about the agents in our company, right? And the amount of money that they're making, especially the middle group that are putting effort in, and versus like people that are like crushing it. And then of course you've always got people coming and going, kind of starting, if you will. But we're constantly going, how do we help them make more money? Is it more coaching? Is it more training? Is it more accountability, et cetera, right? Is it, how do we change our environment, or how do we help create an environment that allows people to be their most productive self, right? And how do we implement things easier? And then when I think about this Facebook group, the Next Level Agents Facebook group that myself and Fred and Cody Gibson put together a couple years ago, the whole thing was about, like, let's have a conversation around helping everybody make more money.
Yeah, I love it.
And I realize that now, as I'm saying that, I'm like, that's the thing that brought us together, is that you've got a heart for that, and so do we. And certainly, I understand that not everyone's going to do it, and I can't make people do it, right? And I used to, as a team leader, I used to lose sleep over the agents that didn't quite make it, and I would see it. You see it too, right? You see it in their eyes.
Of course.
And that sucks. And so I love that that's what your mission is to go out and help them just whatever. If it's going from 12 to 20 or from 20 to 30, dude, I really love that and admire that about your company.
Yeah, and it's funny because you have to keep focused on that, right? Because you get pulled in a lot of different directions. We all do, right? So you do,
Yeah.
everybody does, and there's so many shiny pennies out there, and we're trying this, we're trying that, and in 2019, it's funny. I read something. I'm totally going off topic here, but I'm a book reader, right? I'm always proud of how I listen to about a book a week, right? Well, I'm gonna stop in 2019. I'm not gonna read a book a week. I'm gonna just read a few books. I'm gonna read it again and again. I'm gonna read a few books a couple times and really start to implement what I'm learning in these books, because I was just plowing through books in 16, 17, 18, and just listening to a book a week. And I love it. Coming from a police background, I have a degree in sociology and Spanish. All this business stuff I've had to learn on my own, right? Like a lot of us. And there's few MBAs in real estate, right? So we've had to create our own businesses and do it on our own. But I really want to focus more next year. That's my goal, is to create a little more focus on some of the micro successes. Does that make any sense? I don't even know that topic. People know, where did he go with that? But I'm just thinking about how we can all be successful next year.
That's huge, man. I think of a friend and mentor of mine, a gentleman who runs a company that I'm a mastermind, a member, if you will, in his mastermind. It's non-real estate. His name is Joe Polish, and he had brought up in one of our meetings recently, like, I've read 1,000 books. His office is next door to mine, and his office literally has 1,000, maybe even more books that he's read. And he said, I probably would have been better off just sticking to 10 of them and mastering them.
Yeah, that's what I want to do this year. I'm going to go back to my favorite and redo them.
Yeah, and I think that probably just doing 10 is an exaggeration, but it's that thing of like, hey, I'm going to go focus. Maybe it's only 4 or 5 a year. Maybe it's 2 a year. Maybe 1 year it's only 1. I don't know. My guess is it's more than 10 in a lifetime, right? But it was that thought process of the focus that you just brought in, like, hey, let's take something and implement it fully and really get to know it at a heart level so it's part of us. And how do you see that? So you said 2019. Like, how do you see that impacting your 2019 and beyond and Breakthrough Broker? Because what I know is what you go learn and do and what Eric gets better at is going to then trickle down to us as Breakthrough Broker users.
Yeah, we're going to continue creating more technology to make your job easier.
Cool.
I really think as the industry grows and as we see companies like Zillow Offers and Open Door, which are fine, we should welcome them into the industry.
Yes, we should.
Because the more we focus on that, the worse we're going to be. But we have to be more efficient. We have to be better at what we do. We can't just rely upon our, the baseline, great customer service and all that stuff. We actually have to be better. And so I think everyone needs to get better interpersonally, and the little things we can help with, the making of the flyers and the email campaigns and the marketing plans and all that stuff. I want to help the industry with, to just have it be quick, clear, easy. And then you get that done through us, and you guys go do your job to go sell more homes and create better relationships. So that's our goal at Breakthrough Broker next year, is to continue building some really cool new technology. We're going to be building an interactive business planning app with an accountability component. So in order to activate the app, you'll have to choose an accountability partner, because I believe accountability, if you don't have a partner like you and I, that's where we fail, right? And so just little cool things like that we're going to keep trying to build to help everyone get more successful.
Dude, that's awesome. What I saw when I really started to get to know you and Breakthrough Broker was it in my simple mind, it's leverage. Like, you're literally taking things off of my plate. And the thing that I love is that it doesn't matter if you're like me, where you've got a large team with 40 agents or so, or if you're a solo agent yourself who just started yesterday. Your tools provide leverage, and which saves me time, which means, and the good thing is it's good. Like your products are great. They're sharp. I love them. And so so now I don't have to worry about quality, but I now have my time back to where I can be building more relationships and going deeper in those relationships. And that's what
Right.
it's about, right? Because
You made my, yeah.
yeah,
You
like
made
it
my
was
cut last month when I called you and I said, "What are you using for marketing?" You said, "What do you mean? What am I using for marketing? I'm using your stuff." I was like, "That's awesome." So thank you.
it was funny. Like I could tell I caught you off a little off guard on that. I'm like, why would I even bother using something else at this point?
I
Like
love
I'm all about I'm all about ease, but it's got to be good. So like the quality, don't get me wrong, just like you said, customer service has to be there.
it. Right.
Like, but we're not going to talk about it. If we talk about it, it's bad. It's like an umpire. You only talk about umpires when they do a bad job, right?
Right. Right.
So it's kind of like customer service has to be there. And then I go, okay, is it quality? Does it free me up? Does it make my life and my business better, easier, or harder? And if it's better and easier, dude, I'm all in. Let's go for it.
Yeah. One thing is we're talking about this that comes to mind that I'm very passionate about that we don't forget as realtors is that I believe the main key component to return business and referral business and your past clients referring to you is the customer experience. And as we increase our use of technology as a group, we're decreasing the focus on customer experience. And this is super important to remember. Your clients will remember that you left a pizza, a case of beer, and toilet paper at the house at closing way more than they'll remember the price you got for them and that you negotiated 100 inspection items. Yeah. I promise you. And the logical side of us is so proud of the price we got and how quick we got back to them and all this stuff. But we have to remember that they're going to remember the experience. They're going to remember that you took them to Starbucks every time you went looking at houses, not the deal you got them or the fact that there was 20 competing offers and you got it for them. That's what you're proud about. But when they're sitting on a beach and you like their post that they're in Maui and they look at each other and say, "Oh, I remember Eric. He was such a good realtor. He left us toilet paper and beer and a pizza." That's what they're going to say. And I want all of us to remember that as we start leveraging more and more technology, and even we have a tech company, I want us as an industry to remember that it's all about the experience.
Yeah, the thing that comes, it constantly comes up as a reoccurring theme in the conversations I have, and it's something my dear friend Jason Abrams said, which is the way you beat the computer is to simply be more human.
Yeah.
And so when he says the computer, he means instant offers,
yeah, absolutely,
all that stuff, right? The stuff that the big bad technology that a lot of us are afraid of. And what you're saying is, guys, technology is great and we're going to keep providing it, but you've got to be more human. We've got to provide that experience. I love that, man. That's so powerful.
Absolutely.
So tell me, let's go backwards a little bit. Tell me about the partnership. So you said a lot of things that kind of made me ring true to me with my business partner also being a little more logical, more organized. Actually, don't tell him I said he's more logical because he'll never let me live it down, and I don't have to worry about him listening to this. So, but he's organized. He knows how to take these thoughts and ideas and these shiny object moments that I have and like really make them work. And then we got an awesome team like you do behind us as well. How did you fall into that? Like you referred to my best friend earlier and then you started referring to my business partner. Like how did you just get lucky that you guys were a good match?
Yeah, so we did. We've known each other since before real estate. He was friends with my brother's girlfriend or a friend of my brother's. I don't even remember how. And then everyone moved out of Fort Collins. It's college town and we both stayed up there and we just became friends. And so we had a friendship before the partnership. And a lot of people say don't get into business with friends or family. We didn't. We just went for it. We had a lot of passion. We fight on occasion. We have disagreements like any married couple, like you guys do. Yep. And there's in a partnership, for anyone listening that's thinking of starting a team or a partnership, there will always be moments where you feel like you're working more than the other person. But I want you to check yourself and remember that there will always be moments when the other person is working more and harder than you. And those were growing pains that we had in the beginning. And now we're just like, I'm going to Costa Rica for 3 weeks over Christmas, and he doesn't even say a word. So the partnership has been great. They're not all great. And so I think we've fallen into it, and we treat the partnership. May sound touchy feeling weird, like relationships. We take time to go to a ball game. We take time to go drink beers together away from work and keep our friendship. Like the wives will say, "Oh my gosh, you talk to each other like you work together 45 hours a week. Why do you need to go to a hockey game tonight?" And I'm like, because we're still friends too. So yeah. I think a lot of people think I'm huge on teams, partnerships. You can do real estate by yourself and be wildly successful. My brother does. Nathan's wife does. But it's great when you have a great team and a great partnership to build a really big, great company if you want to. You just have to work at your partnership just like you have to work at your marriage.
Yeah. You say that like, that's so good. One of the questions I get most is, hey, I think I'm going to go into a partnership with so-and-so, and my friend, my broker owner, my regional director, someone said to call you because they know you and you've got a non-family member as a partner, and it's lasted a really long time, and they can't think of other couples or family members that have really worked out long run. Mm-hmm. So what's your advice for me? So I think a lot of things that you just said, you hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. So anybody who's listening to this, who's thought about a partnership before, is going to think about one in the future, go backwards and re-listen to what Eric just said, because there's some real solid knowledge in there. There's a relationship and there's an ebb and flow. And the thing that people have to understand is things are not always fair, or they're not always equal, mm-hmm. right? There's times where, I remember I have a 6-year-old and a almost 4-year-old. Fred has a 2-year-old. So that means at some point in the last 6 years, there's definitely times where one of us, and twice that was Fred, was mm-hmm. working significantly more hours than the other one was, right?
Right.
When a new baby comes along, or life changes, or dude, life happens. Sometimes stuff just pops up. And of course, I think it's awesome to have another partner there who can literally just kind of help shoulder the load.
Right. Yeah. And so if people ask me for advice, I tell them 2 things. Do you like them? And are they reasonable? Like, are they a reasonable person? It's hard to work with people that are unreasonable.
Fact.
And so that's it. If you like them and they're reasonable, you should be able to work it out.
Yeah. No, I actually think that's simple yet like profound, man. That's really good. So, okay, moving forward, 2019. I know you're going to focus, right? We're going to work on more tech. You're going to focus on fewer books and really get into them. What else is in store for 2019 for Eric, whether that be business or personal?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. We have a heavy travel schedule. So anyone listening to this, I'll be posting my travel schedule a little more because I'd like to meet in person, coffees, happy hours. So pretty heavy travel schedule, doing a lot of speaking all over the country. Working hard for our clients. So those of you that are on Breakthrough Broker, you see advertising on there, and those are our clients in the title, mortgage, home warranty industry, and working hard for them to help. They want your business. So I'm trying to help them provide value to you guys. And personally, my kid's going to college. I have a kid graduating high school, which is scary. Makes me feel as old as that's as old as my 40th birthday didn't make me feel old. My kid driving didn't make me feel old. My kid graduating high school makes me feel old. So he's going to be going off to college either in New York or Arizona. Not sure yet where, close to you. And then that's it. My daughter's going into high school, so we're hustling. My kids are a little older than yours, but it's a fun time.
That's crazy, man. So you just said something there, and do me a favor, just tell it to me. I'm not worried about. I want to know if I want to know where is Eric speaking at. How do I find that? I'll drop it in the group and we'll put it in the show notes.
I'm going to be posting it on my personal Facebook page, but also I'll start doing it on Breakthroughbroker, breakthroughbroker.com's business page. So our Facebook page.
Okay, cool. What I'll do, and we'll link to that here in the show notes and everything here in the comments inside the Facebook group, Next Level Agents, so that way people can get to it. Because that's one of the things that I really like is you have built this in such a grassroots way, even though you're using technology, like you're out there with agents like belly to belly, if you will,
Yeah.
and building relationships, which is the way I think is that's the way that can't be undone. Just like with our buyer and seller clients, when we do that,
Hmm.
can't be
No,
beat.
I
It
agree.
seems slower and everything, and we could be doing things faster, yada yada yada, but nothing will help you go deeper with
Yeah.
somebody than face to face, right?
Funny that you say that because a lot of companies I meet with, a lot of big companies say, wow, Breakthrough Broker, that's you guys, 300,000 agents, you're the biggest company we've never heard of. And I actually like that where we are, we do a lot behind the scenes. As you know, we run a lot of marketing centers for some of the big
Yeah.
companies in the industry. And we're okay being behind the scenes. We just want to help and we want the Breakthrough Broker name to be known, not necessarily Nathan and Eric. So that's a choice we made. And a lot of the social media gurus tell us we're crazy, but we really just want to keep pushing Breakthrough Broker, and that will come.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I believe that too. And that was something that myself, Fred, and Cody thought about too. Is like, let's just like this group, this next level agents group, and even with this podcast here that we've started, it's just about let's just put great content out there and help people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's probably, I guess, smarter ways, to
Of
do
course.
it. But to me, it's the way to do it, right? It's the
Yep.
way to build. So that way it stays stable in the long run.
I think slow and steady will get you through any shift that's ever in the marketplace. So
Yeah, man, that's a fact. There's no doubt. So, okay, let's do this. Well, before we wind down, like I want to know a little more on the personal side. So, I know you like to. I know you got a vacation coming up, and so you don't always work all the time, although it feels like
right,
it. At least 40 of
right,
the week a year you're
right,
traveling to work.
right.
What do you do for
I'm
fun
going
in
to
the
move while we're
downtime?
talking so I can plug in. Downtime's kind of cool. I am a huge ice hockey fan, so I got to plug in. So we're moving.
Cool.
I'm a big Colorado Avalanche fan, so we go see a lot of games. We had season tickets for years, and that's one of my passions. Some of you might know that. You still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Some of you might know that my wife's from Costa Rica, and I had a real estate company in Costa Rica. Part of what we did, we sold real estate in Central America for quite a few years, and so we go there quite often, probably twice a year, and golf whenever I can. So you got to take me out when I'm out there.
Dude, that's awesome. I will drive the cart for you.
Okay, good.
I retired from golf. One time I didn't lose a ball, and
right.
I mean it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about the fact it was only a 9-hole course, in a par 3. But I didn't lose a ball that day. I figured it was never getting better, and I retired. That was 2011. But I'll totally drive the cart for you.
Skiing, so I don't snow ski up here.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Oh man. Okay. So you can ride on the lift with me while I snowboard, and I'll drive your cart for you while you golf in Arizona. So that'll be fun. So that's cool. So let me ask you this, and we've never talked about this before, but it just came to me. You ran a real estate company and sold real estate in another country. Do you have any content or education or any pieces on what that's like because there are a growing number of agents who are selling real estate in more than one country and have connections in more than one country. Do you help people do that at all?
On occasion, we do. It was such a learning experience. We had so much fun. It was way more fun than the money we made, to be honest with you, out there. And there's pitfalls, and we loved it. It was fun. I made great contacts. It did help me with my real estate here in Colorado. But just be careful if you're doing stuff in other countries to let the fun outweigh how good a business decision it may be.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So I mean, I think that's probably a good lesson right there.
Yeah, it's very attractive to go say, "Oh, I'm selling real estate in Costa Rica or Belize or whatever," but it's super hard work. And if you're not 100% focused on that, it could cost you more money than it ends up making you.
Yeah, there's it's funny. I think that's true for a lot of business decisions that people make. It looks sort of easy on the outside, and then
Right.
you realize like, whoa, hold on, there's a whole lot more to it, and it's definitely not all glamour.
Oh yeah, I can tell you stories. It's like the Wild West.
Well, you have told me some
Podcast for another
stories. Yeah.
day.
So okay, so that's awesome. So tell me this, Breakthrough Broker. We talked about 2019. Like what happens after that? Like where do you ultimately see if you had a crystal ball, and mine's broken, so I don't have one anymore. But if you had one, or maybe you do have one, like what do you see in the next 5, 10 years in our industry? Where do you see this place, this company, not just Breakthrough Broker, but our industry being residential real estate? What do you see on the horizon?
You know, I'm not a doom and gloom guy, so I think everybody can work together. That's just my personality.
Yeah.
And so I believe the industry is going to change, and I believe some consumers will want a transactional process, and those consumers might be best suited for the transactional processes like Zillow offers and Open Door. That's fine. I think as real estate professionals, we have to continue to get better personally, like we talked about, to create a great experience so that the consumers buy a home and say that they would never not use a realtor. And it's up to us. So I believe that the success or failure of our industry lays with everyone listening to this, everyone in your group. I don't believe one technology will come wipe it out. You know, everyone says, you know, what did Netflix do to Blockbuster and what did Uber do to the taxi industry? I get that, but those were transactions. Those were not emotional purchases, right? Those
Yeah.
weren't 300, $400 million purchases when you went to rent a movie. So I believe that yes, the industry is going to change. Will realtors go away? Not if we do the right thing over the next 10 years. That's just my opinion.
Right on, man. I love that. All right, buddy. I got two more questions for you, and I'll let you go. So last two questions are, because I know you are an avid book reader.
Mm-hmm.
What are you reading right now, and what's been? Let's do that first. Like, what are you currently reading, or what was your latest read?
I don't have my phone with me. I'm reading Seth Godin's brand new uh, marketing book. About
Yes.
halfway through. I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, it's,
Cool.
I'm taking a nugget out of every chapter so far. So, and I'm a big fan of Seth's. I'm reading his new book, and I like it. Oh my gosh, some of my favorite books. I think that for a new real estate agent, they should all read E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It's really important to understand the difference between showing homes and finding homes and creating a business, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Malcolm Gladwell, and just I'm a big reader.
Awesome. What you gift a lot of books? Do you give them out to people by any chance?
Yeah, I do often.
What's your most gifted book? Like, what's the book you believe you've given away the most copies of?
It's funny. I get a lot of people, I get a lot of business owners and broker owners asking me how to take it to the next level. So oddly enough, the most gifted book for me is probably What Got You Here Won't Get You There by Marshall Goldsmith. I don't know if you've ever read it.
I haven't. I know which book you're talking about.
It's obscure, but it's really good for business owners who are looking to kind of take it to the next level. And it's also a lot about implementation and accountability. And I'm kind of all about I think our biggest problem in the world as realtors, as business owners, as entrepreneurs is just not doing what we know we need to do to succeed. I mean, you need to have a CRM, and you talk about it for a whole year, but you don't buy one, and then you don't implement it. And you talk about it next year. Those sort of things I'm passionate about. And so I've gifted that out quite a bit. And E-Myth, to all my friends that want to get into the business or start a business, I send E-Myth out. It's an old book, but I send it out all the time.
That's awesome, man. All right, dude. My last question for you, and it's a longer one. So I get this from a gentleman who runs a podcast and a company called Bulletproof Radio,
Mm-hmm.
and he always asks his guests at the end, give me 3 pieces of advice for kicking more ass. So somebody comes to you, I don't care if it could be a family member, friend, employee, just somebody you meet on the road, and you're giving them advice, right? And they say, Eric, I want more in life. Like, what are the 3 key pieces you believe that are required to just sort of kick ass and have a bigger, better life?
Well, exactly what we were just talking about. Read.
Okay, read.
Improve yourself. For friends of mine that are like, oh, I went to law school, I will never read another book again because I had to read 50,000 pages a month. I feel sorry for I'm not saying I feel sorry for attorneys, but people who aren't improving their knowledge set, I feel can't get better at anything. I think we should all be trying to get better all the time. So read, take some time off. I'm trying to get better at that. Take some time off so you can focus. Nathan's gotten good at it, and he comes back and he crushes it after some time off. And so I would say read, find some downtime, and be hungry. Just keep being hungry.
Yeah. I love that, man. Those are all like key points, right? You always got to be looking for more.
Basic, but we forget it, right?
What's the saying? If you're not growing, you're dying, right? There's no such thing as stagnant or status quo. You're actually going forward or you're going backward, and reading is one way to continue to go forward.
One thing I talk about a lot, and I know we got to go, is momentum. So it's super common sense, and we see it every day. If we're sports fans, the team that wins at the end of the game has the most momentum throughout the game. I believe in business, it's like the number one thing. And I try to build with my team, with our company. I try to have momentum every day. And in real estate, it could be, even if you're on vacation and downtime, sending an email, right? Or with my sales team, every hour we talk about, what did you do this hour to build momentum towards a sale that hour even? So we talk a lot about moving momentum forward. If you stagnate for a day, it takes 3 days to catch up. And so even though I say find downtime, when I'm in Costa Rica for 3 weeks, I'll be up in the morning sending 5 emails before we go to the beach. And just to make sure we're moving things along every day. So I think look at 2019 and say, I want to build momentum like a sports team every day. When you go home, when you're driving home, look back, what did I do to build momentum for my real estate business? And if it's nothing, pick up the phone when you're driving home and call one person and try to talk to them about just real estate, just build momentum.
Man, that's deep. Like, that is so profound there, what you just shared. The other thing too, I want to add on top of this, and sorry to extend this a little bit longer, but you just really sparked something to me, which is the thing about momentum is it can be something easy, right? It could be that one phone call. It could be those 5 emails that you send. But the thing about momentum is that then breeds confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the more confidence you have, the more momentum you'll build. The more momentum you build, the more confidence, and then the results start to really show up, right?
It's unstoppable. When I look at teams like yours, and I talk to all the big teams in the country, I'm friends with most of them, I see this crazy momentum. You don't even know you're doing it. But the momentum I see from successful real estate agents, it's subconscious, but it's the key to their success. Actually, they're always moving forward in some fashion.
Man, that's powerful. What a great way to leave us today, Eric, man. I really appreciate it. One last time, tell us where can we catch you? Facebook, et cetera. I know it's breakthroughbroker.com. We'll put these all in the show notes, but you're on Facebook, Instagram. Where else can we find you?
Facebook, Instagram, Breakthrough Brokers Facebook page. And then, I'm out and about. I traveled 44 weeks this year. So we'll see.
Awesome. We'll put a link to your page here in the show notes so we can catch up with you in person sometime soon. And all right, Eric, dude, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time today, buddy.
I value our friendship and our business conversation, so I appreciate this. Thank you.
Right back at you, man. I super appreciate it. Have a great day.
See you later.
Bye-bye.